Hi, first graders, it's Mrs. Gady, and I've got the next book about Stina and another adventure that she goes on. This book is called Stina's Visit, and it is also written and illustrated by Lena Anderson. So here's the front cover. Looks like she's at Grandpa's house again. And on the back, it says, Stina and her grandfather know the perfect way to celebrate Axel's birthday. Come and join them. That gives us some clues. Sounds like they're going to have a birthday party of some sort. All right, here we go. Stina's Visit. Every summer, Stina visited her grandfather in the small gray house on an island, and every day she went to the beach, searching for things washed up by the sea. Look, Grandfather, called Stina. This is a good box. I can make a boat out of it. Indeed, said Grandfather. No, it's no good as a boat, Stina said sadly. It leaks. So I see, Grandfather said. But come along, it's time for lunch. I'll fry some fish. One afternoon, Grandfather looked at his calendar. Well, well, he said, today is Stretchett's birthday. Why don't we go over and surprise him? Who is Stretchett? Asked Stina. His real name is Axel, Grandfather said. We've known each other ever since we were small children. It's a good thing that I have a jar of honey, Grandfather said. Stretchett loves honey. We'll make some honey sandwiches, and we'll take a pot of coffee and some juice for you. And I'll take my box, Stina said. We can use it as a tray. Stretchett says that he lives on God's thumb, said Grandfather. That's his house. It's the farthest one out on the point. Stretchett says it's like living in paradise. I agree, that place looks like a wonderful spot. When they got to the house, there was no sign of Stretchett. He must be somewhere, said Grandfather. He wasn't on the jetty, said Stina. Axel, where are you? Grandfather called. They opened the bedroom door, and there, under the blanket, lay Stretchett. His eyes were open. They looked shiny and sad. Stina and I have brought you a birthday surprise, Grandfather said. But Stretchett didn't move. Stina put down the tray and went over to the bed. Don't be sad, she said. We've brought honey sandwiches for you. Grandfather says you love honey. He's right, cried Stretchett and threw off his blanket. I thought everyone had forgotten me. Now I will have a happy birthday. Stretchett ate one honey sandwich after another. This reminds me of one of my trips on a ship called the Pegasus. The time I won the big honey medal, he said. Oh, may I see the medal? Stina asked. Unfortunately, it was blown into the sea during a dreadful storm off Cape Horn, Stretchett said. Indeed, said Grandfather. In the middle of the storm, believe it or not, a chest came flying through the air. It landed with a thud on the deck right in front of me. It was full of gold and precious stones. "Oh, may I see the chest?" asked Stina. "Sorry," said Stretch-It. "I lost it when the ship sank." "Indeed," said Grandfather. "I was the only survivor," Stretch-It continued. "I fought for my life in the raging waters of the Pacific. The sea was alive with sharks. I thought my last moment had come when a wash tub came bobbing along." "Indeed," said Grandfather. "With my last strength, I managed to crawl into the tub. I paddled for days and nights, and one glorious morning I floated up on land, right here on God's thumb." "Indeed," said Grandfather. "May I see the tub?" asked Stina. "Well, it's right over there in the cupboard," said Stretch-It. Do you think Grandfather believes all of these stories that Stretch-It is telling? Maybe he's stretching the truth and making a lot of it up, but it makes it so fun. That's what you can do with your adventure stories too. Make them super adventure-y and fun. All right, let's find out what happens. "What a good tub!" exclaimed Stina. "Well, you may have it. I don't need it anymore," said Stretch-It. "Oh, thank you," said Stina. Said Grandfather. "I think it's time for us to be getting home." "Wait!" cried Stretch-It. He rushed into the back of his bedroom and hopped under the blanket. "Before you go, you must sing me a lullaby," he said, "for my birthday." As they sang, Stretch-It closed his eyes and went to sleep. The next morning, Stina tried out her new boat. It didn't leak at all. But she never could understand how Stretch-It had managed to fit into it. The end. And I love this picture because it shows the island where Grandfather lives with Stina when she visits. And then over on the other side, it shows Stretch-It's house. Oh, I love these adventures with Stina. They're really good books. Hey, can't wait to read some more of your adventures that you've been writing. And if you feel like you just can't write it all out, you can always tell a story, just like Stretch-It did in this book. He told an adventure story. Super fun. Bye, first graders.